Yo, what's good? It is Homage, and you're watching Steezy. So I go by the name of Homage, and I first came up with that name when I was like really trying to understand the culture that I wanted to be a part of. I was really digging deep into like old school hip hop and the producers that inspired me. And I decided like, hey, if I want to be a beat maker, if I want to be a producer, this is what I want to do with my life, then I want to like add to the culture and I don't want to take away from it. Like I want to actually know what I'm talking about and like respect those people that came before me. And so that's kind of where the name came from. It just kind of came naturally, yeah. Honestly, when I think of lo-fi hip hop, I kind of think of a really wide genre or a label for a genre that, you know, as a name, I feel like it only really became popular in the last couple of years, you know, 4 or 5 years, but really is in reference to like classic hip hop and, you know, LA beat culture, different things like that. It's hard to say, you know, like what is lo-fi, but when I think of lo-fi, I think of like classic hip hop, you know, real gritty textures. I think of sampled records. I think of out of the box thinking and an approach to like making beats. Honestly, there's a beat on my YouTube channel called Bang, and it's honestly one of my favorite beats I've ever made. It doesn't have a ton of views. I don't even know if a lot of people know about it, but the reason it's my favorite beat is because the way that I composed it was so different than I normally do. I think I used 5 or 6 different samples, different pieces, and kind of like combined them all, and the way it all came together was like super unique. And every time I hear it, I'm like super happy about it. I'm really proud of like the way that it all came together. I feel like if you're in like a beat block or you need some kind of like creative relief, watch something that you've watched like 100 times and you love it every time you watch it, because then you're just gonna feel super relieved. For me, that's probably something like Lord of the Rings or like Pulp Fiction or something like that. Just something crazy. 3 tips for new producers. That's a good question. I guess first and foremost, make what you want to make, and don't just do what's true to you. If you're inspired by, you know, old school hip hop, make old school hip hop. If you're inspired by trap music, make trap music. But whatever it is, don't try to fabricate what you're doing. Just make what you want to make, because 5 years down the road, you're going to look back at what you made and you're going to actually be happy with staying true to yourself versus like trying to make a sound because somebody said that sound is popular. Whatever it is, stay true to yourself. The second thing is study your inspirations. And what I mean by that is like really pick apart the people that you look up to, the people, if you're listening to something and it like hits you in your soul, like you feel it, then really study that and pick it apart. And I mean like really like listen to the whole discography, try to put yourself in that person's shoes and then move on to the next person. Because the reality is once you do that with 3, 4, 5, 6, you're gonna have all of these people who you've studied their work, and next thing you know, you're taking bits and pieces of what you've learned from them and put it, you know, into your own craft. And then the last thing is just like work hard, be consistent, but have fun with it. Honestly, like we all make music because it's fun first and foremost, and you know it does something for us. And if people listen, then it's a beautiful thing. And if they don't, that doesn't mean you're not good. It just means people haven't found you yet. So just keep going and have fun with it. I have a stack of records here that I haven't touched yet. I think one of them I took a piece from. And I'm just gonna go through and kind of listen for different like little pieces, maybe loops, sound effects that I like that catch my ear. And then from there, once I have them all into Ableton, try to piece them together and see if we can come up with something fire. So. This one I bought a while ago and I haven't listened to it yet at all. Dude, you know what, this sounds really familiar. I feel like I've heard this sample somewhere. Bill Evans' album and Living Time, George Russell Orchestra. All right, so I went through, listened to some records, took some pieces of some stuff that inspired me, and so I have everything laid out here. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop it up and lay some drums. I usually like to start with the drums, but sometimes I'll start with the sample. It really just doesn't really matter, but yeah, I think I'm gonna start with some drums right now. So basically right now I have the sound that I took from the Bill Evans record. Now I have it chopped up in the sampler, and I'm basically looking for pieces, maybe chords or different melodic pieces that I want to you know, experiment around with and piece together to come up with something you know, for the beat. So it's really all experimentation. Like, I have no idea where this beat is gonna go. It's just chopping, making, you know, making chops and then playing around with the drums and piecing it all together. That's the sound everybody wants. Cool, so now that I have this loop basically as the basis for the beat, I'm gonna go back to the other stuff that I pulled and look for some more pieces that I can combine in there and kind of piece together. So this sound is actually really crazy. I took it from that Brazilian record, and it's just like a bird's chirping. Like, obviously I could just go on YouTube and take this from like any YouTube video if I wanted to, but I think it's pretty cool that I found it on the record and was able to take that little snippet of the birds chirping and mix it into the background to give this, you know, that warm, organic, lo-fi feel. This is the hardest part, is trying to make everything sit properly. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Much love to Steezy for bringing me out, having an interview, made a quick little beat. If you guys want to check out more of my music, you can find me on YouTube, just Homage Beats, on Spotify, Homage, Twitter, Instagram, the same, Homage Beats. Much love, say what's up, and we'll see you guys soon.